So our next guest is Char Adams, and Char has a book, and the book has been out a few months. We've been trying to get her on the show, and I have my copy. I haven't dived into it yet just because I have so many books, but I had to get a copy of it because it's about Black bookstores and it's called Black Owned: The Revolutionary Life of the Black Bookstore. So let me see, I put it back a little bit because that white washes out when you put it too close. So, Char, welcome to Black Authors Matter TV.
Yes, hello. Hi, chat. Everyone.
So, this book intrigued me. There was another book that came out last year also about Black bookstores, and this must be a time to focus on them for some reason. My husband and I had a bookstore, a brick and mortar store for 10 years,
Oh,
but we've
yeah.
been in the book industry selling books online for in marketing and that with the book industry for 25 years. So this idea of the being a revolutionary life of the Black bookstore, um, that's an intriguing subhead, and looking at bookstore selling as a revolutionary act is one way of looking at it. And sometimes it does seem like it is. So I know for us, it did. You have to really think outside the box. So, what made you interested in this topic?
Yeah, so I first got into Black-owned bookstores back in 2018. I read an article in the Atlantic by Joshua Clark Davis, and he wrote this amazing piece about how Black-owned bookstores were targeted by the FBI back in the 1960s. And so I read that and I was just so fascinated by it, of course, but I came away from that piece just kind of wanting to know more of these Black booksellers' personal stories, right? I wanted to know what that targeting looked like, how it felt, right? So this whole thing started because I wanted to know Black book sellers, like business, right? I just like wanted to like know. And so I started tracking different I started tracking down different booksellers from that time and just talking to them and just learning from them. And so that grew into this deep passion for just basically learning everything I could about Black owned bookstores. And so that turned into this this book.
Okay. Um, so because I haven't even had a chance to crack the pages, I just wanted to make sure I had it. So is
Yeah.
this more about is this more a book about Black bookstores from prior eras, or does it
Yes.
bring you up to today? Just how do you
Yes.
characterize
So Black owned is a comprehensive history of Black owned bookstores in this country from the 1800s up until now. So it's like a
it?
full complete, yeah. I tried to write as complete a history as I could, but like of course I know that there are things I couldn't touch and just yeah, like I feel like it would take 4 and 5 books to like really tell that full full
Story.
story, yeah, but I'm hoping that this book is a good start.
Okay. Now you said there's the first black bookstore was in the 18 what
Yes, yeah, it was it was um it was opened in 1834 in in New York by a man named David Ruggles. Yeah.
okay. It seems like I've heard that name before.
Yeah. I
Was
mean,
he known for something else?
yeah, so I mean, he was this like monumental figure in the anti-slavery movement. He helped to like a free yeah, he helped to free enslaved people and yeah, and he helped to teach people about the entire movement, right? And so his Black-owned bookstore was just a tiny part of his like his larger work. Yeah, and so
Oh,
I talk about him. Yes, I talk about him in the introduction, and it was one of my favorite chapters to like to work on.
hmm. How were you able to find the information? How difficult was it to do the research, to pull all the information together, to make the chronology of
Yeah.
from beginning to now?
Yeah, so I am a journalist, right? And so it's kind of so that is a skill set I have had now for a long time, but this was a lot of, looking into old like old like old um newspapers, different going to different like libraries and like finding books and pages that I couldn't really find online. And but the most important part of it was actually just talking to um to people, right? Was actually just talking to the black booksellers.
Okay, well, of
Um,
course you couldn't talk to Mr. Ruggles, but
right,
that was
right,
pure
right.
research. Unless he was the oldest living person.
No, okay. Well, no, for his story, there is only one full length book that has been written about him. And it's by a man named Graham Graham Hodges. He wrote this like really really deeply researched book. So I think everybody should buy it and read his book.
Oh, okay. Now, I'm sure you talked to Hakeem's bookstore in Philadelphia.
Of course, yes.
Mhm. Yeah, we've
My
had her on the show, and she talked about her father and
yeah,
how he was targeted by the FBI.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was you know, so I just love to write. I first and foremost, I love to write about Philly, right? Since I'm from there, and I'm going to show you guys my
Oh, okay. Okay.
I shirt I have on, but So anytime I get to write about Philly is like my like heart just feels so like warm. But yeah, Hakeem's bookstore was I covered that bookstore, I believe it is in maybe chapter three. And I talk about how Dawood Hakeem, he opened his bookstore in Philly in like the late 1950s. And like what is so cool about his bookstore is that it was really tied to his faith, right? He was this really devout um devout Muslim man, and he really tied his like faith and the principles and the values that came from his faith. He poured that into his bookstore, and so I was really happy to touch on that as well.
Okay. I spent some time in Philly
Yeah,
in
and you
college.
loved it.
Well, yes, because when I was in college at Georgetown, my best friend was from Philly. So I would go to Philly with her quite often during my college years and spend time with her. I don't know what part of Philly it was because I don't know how it's separated, but her family was from Philadelphia. So they had been there a while. And we had some fun times. I've only been there a couple of times since then. That's been a while ago, but I spent a lot of time there when we were in college because from DC to Philly is a short drive. And once I got a car, it was really,
Just
we were
out.
on the road all the time, going back and forth.
Okay.
I'm from Newport News, Virginia, so she would go home with me too. So we would visit each other. And then we
Nice.
would go to New York sometimes because New York is
Y'all
another.
were just
Yeah,
all over. I love it. Y'all have lived a life, baby.
yeah,
I love
that's
that.
the truth. We did. We did. So,
I
um,
love it.
yeah. Now, how were you able to get? And I asked this for the lady with Prose to the People. Um, was it
Yeah.
difficult getting this book published? Was
So,
it, did you have an
yeah, so
agent? Did you just present it yourself, or how
so
did?
I am so how that came together, like I feel that I, it was confirmation for me just how purposed it was, or that I was meant to do this book because of how it all came to together. I was not planning to to write a book anytime soon, and I was not planning to write a book about um Black owned bookstores, but back in 2021, now my now agent, Justin Bruckart, he contacted me. He had seen my work. I had worked for NBC News and for People magazine and everything. And so he had seen my work and like he really liked it, I guess. And so he actually contacted me to be my agent and to have me write a book. And so I told him, I said, if there's anything that I would want to write a book about and spend years of my life writing about, it's Black owned bookstores. Yeah,
Oh,
and so yeah, and so he said, cool. And I was kind of nervous at first because I didn't know how much a black man, sorry, how much a white man could like really understand where I was coming from and how I wanted to write this book and like why, right? But it turned out to be a perfect match. He was so um thoughtful and he really understood what I was trying to do with the book. And so we worked together on the proposal, and then we started pitching it to different publishing houses. And I believe we got offers for the book from all of the big five. But yeah, but I chose to go with Tiny Reparations with Penguin Random House. And so I always hear these like horror stories from like first time writers who like say their first time publishing a book was so horrible and like they like didn't know this and they like really didn't have a lot of support. So I'm so grateful that I did not have that. I did not have that experience. Everything from start to finish just like went so like well and so 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 smoothly. It wasn't hard to get this book published, and I think that that is because of all of the work that Black writers and just Black people in the publishing and 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 industry have like done to like kind of move things forward and to kind of make books like this more commonplace, right? So I feel like I am benefiting from a lot of what people who came who came before me have done. Like like the like the like the like the National Black Book Festival, right? You guys are all part of that work.
Okay, well, thank you. We celebrate our 19th year this year.
Yes.
Yeah, for the
That's
festival,
so cool.
19 years continuously, and we started this show in July of 2020 because of
Yeah.
COVID, because
Yeah.
COVID shut everything down, and we wanted to continue the work. And we celebrate our sixth anniversary for the show this year, and
That's so cool.
we've interviewed over 800 guests, not 800 interviews, 800 different individual people, and at some point they all kind of run together, but some stand out. This one would stand out just because
Oh
of the
yeah.
subject matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unusual. So what surprised you in working on this book? What surprises did you encounter?
Yeah, so I learned so of course like when I was researching for this book, there were so many things that I didn't know, right? That like I had to learn, you know. And so there was so much, but one of my favorite things that I've learned came when I was studying David Ruggles. Um, so in the 1950s and the 60s, we know that like Malcolm X kind of came, well, he had his like rise in popularity and in like movement work and one thing that he would often say that people still quote is is by any means
Necessary.
necessary, right? And
Mm.
so I learned that almost 100 years before Malcolm X, it was David Ruggles who said that first. And yeah, and
There's
I
nothing new under the sun.
right. And so I just found that so cool. It just it gave me like chills, and it just goes to like show just how much Black book selling has always been linked to like to this sense of like black liberation.
Okay. Yeah, if you were a Black bookseller, which we were for 10 years, me and my husband worked the business together. So it was a family uh, business. And I tell people, you
Yeah,
don't do it, you're not doing it for money because you could make much more
right.
money doing something else. Um, it's a commitment,
Mhm.
it's a mission, it's more of a statement, even. But also, Black bookstores are more than just bookstores. A lot of them are meeting places, community gathering places. They now I see some of them have like crafts. They'll do like candle making or some other kind painting. They'll have. Uh,
Yeah,
I've even had some do speed dating at their establishments. Uh, some will.
yeah.
I went to one place where they were doing chess. They were teaching children how to play chess on Saturday mornings.
That's so
So
cool. I love that.
yeah, they
Oh,
were,
I love that.
and yeah. Now there was a period where the Black bookstores were closing around the time that we closed because we ours was from 2000 to 2010, and with the emergence of Amazon, people weren't they were getting
Yep.
the discounted books from Amazon. And so you can't compete with the discount that Amazon gives. And, lay people aren't aware of this. Some of them would just say, why can't you sell it for the same thing that Amazon sells it for? And the problem is,
Hmm.
Amazon sells it for less than a Black bookstore can buy it for with the discount. So, to give you an example,
Yeah.
let's say a book is $20. The average bookstore gets 40% off when they buy wholesale. And to buy wholesale, that means you have to buy multiple, you can't just buy one book, you have to buy multiple books. So you get 40% off, and then you hope you can sell it at list price. And, that's your profit. So, not profit on the bottom line for everything, but on the book itself. So, if Amazon sells it for 40% off, you can't sell it for 40% off because you will make zero money. And a lot of people they just they
Yeah.
don't have the connection, they don't understand. They don't understand
Yeah.
business in that you have to make money on every sale, otherwise you go under. And so, and a lot of times people will uh, opt for the next new thing or whatever. And Amazon has done very well with making people buy everything from them with the Amazon Prime. And just now I don't have Prime as a revolutionary act. I do buy from Amazon, but I wait until I get, I think it's $35 I have to spend to get free shipping. So I just put stuff in the cart if I'm gonna buy something until I get to the $35. And then I then I release it. But um a lot of people have Prime.
Yeah,
So, you know, and they're getting free fast shipping. And so the customer even has to have a commitment to Black
yeah,
bookstores.
yeah,
It has to be and a revolutionary act of understanding why it's important to have them. Because
yeah.
what ends up happening is a lot of times we don't miss something until it's gone.
Yep. Yeah,
And
definitely.
so, yeah, so now I wanted to ask about Dawood with Hakeem Bookstore. Was he a Nation of Islam Muslim or was he a traditional Muslim? You know?
He was he was a not a he was not a Nation of Islam guy.
Okay.
He was a regular Muslim. Yeah. Yeah. He like wasn't really and like involved in like that,
So
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
so how did he become a Muslim? He converted to Muslim? Was he raised a Muslim? Did you get into his background in that
Oh,
way?
I didn't get much into his background in terms of his like faith, but I focused more on how he came to book selling. But
Okay.
but anybody who knows anything about like Philly knows that it's full of black Muslims. It's like a very big part of the culture there.
That's true. I was in Philly. I forgot that I was in Philly for the Zeta Phi Beta Boule. Me and my co-host for the show, she's not on tonight, but she was on the Zeta board. Like, so we had a booth there about the show, and we're also both published authors. So we had our books there. And so it was for 4 days at the convention center. And they have a very nice market across the street from the convention center. I don't know if you've been with it's one big place that has food from like it's like food from all over the world, different
Yeah,
types of
that's
foods.
yeah. So I think you're talking about the Reading Terminal Market.
Okay.
Reading.
And there was
Yeah.
there were quite a few Muslims eating
Oh,
in there when I went.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I noticed that I forgot about that until you mentioned it, that there's a large Muslim
Yeah.
population there. Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
So, what do you want people to like the main mission for you writing the book? What do you want people to glean,
So,
walk away
so
from when they read your book?
So that's a big question, and I want people to walk away with so much, but one thing that I really want to encourage people to do is not only be customers of their local Black-owned bookstores, but to really be a part of their Black bookstore community, right? Like purchase books there, yes, but also like join their their book clubs or like go to their various events, right? Become a loyal part of the books of the Black bookstore, become a loyal part of the Black bookstore system beyond just buying books. But please buy books there. Yes,
Yeah,
do
because
do
I
that.
tell people a bookstore or any business, but a bookstore, since we're talking about bookstores, they make no money unless a sale is made. They make nothing. The books on the shelves, that's money on the shelf, is what that is. So if you don't buy something, and for authors, this is what I tell them. Like for new authors, not traditionally published, but for new authors who are self-published, they'll ask, "Can I get my book in your bookstore?" Well, if you're not doing something to promote the fact that the book is there, nobody's going, even if it's there, it doesn't, it just takes up space on the shelf. And then that's work for whoever owns the bookstore that they have to do to put it in, catalog it, put it on the shelf or whatever. And so nothing, no money is made unless something is sold. And that's any business. But sometimes I think people think bookstores, especially black bookstores, are more like libraries,
Yeah.
where the books are there and they can just browse, and somehow they're financed some somehow. I
Yeah.
don't think they get it. But thank you so
I feel like,
much.
yeah. Oh no, I was just going to like say that I don't feel like people often think deeply about what it takes to run any kind of like business. And if people were more thoughtful about that, that might impact how they shop and like
Right.
and yeah,
How they make those decisions. Well, thank you so much,
exactly.
Char, for being a guest on
Thank
the
you
show.
so much.
And
Thank you.
congratulations on your book. It's so
Thank you
needed.
so
I
much.
can't wait to dive into it. I've had it for a couple of months, but my because of this show, my to be read
Yeah. It's
shelves,
like yeah.
cases. Now it's cases. I got baskets of books. I got books everywhere. So anyway, thank you so much and congratulations. We appreciate you
Thank
doing
you
this.
so much.
You're welcome. Have
Thank
a
you so
great
much.
night.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.